you wait all week for one sunny day, and then the sunlight and the compact fluorescent just really don't work well together. So we're gonna have to deal with this. Hey, what's up? Hello. Happy New Year to those of you on the Gregorian calendar with us and celebrating. It is now 2017, which, as we know, is going to prove to be an interesting time for the entire world as we move forward. But today I wanted to discuss my 2016 reading challenge, my 2017 reading challenge, and some goals that I have for the upcoming year with regard to reading itself. So with the Goodreads challenge, I have successfully managed to make all of my goals for the entire time that I've been doing it year after year, and year after year I always bring my goal up by 5 books, and I think that that is a pretty good, solid level of gradual increase. Although this year was insane and I moved to a different country and have been in a rigorous program, and so therefore didn't get to complete that, although I do think if I added up everything that I read, definitely would have made that goal. However, as I have now dropped my reading challenge for 2017 to 30 books solely. So I think that should be fairly attainable. I'm about to write a dissertation starting in April, so we'll see what happens with that. At the time that this will go up, I have about a week until my next term starts, so I have a good amount of time there to do some free reading for myself and sort of make a good start into that goal. But in addition to that numerical goal, I always tend to think a little bit about other things that I want to accomplish with my reading throughout the calendar year. And this year I've come up with 4 different sort of aims that I want to reach. I'm not really the kind of person that makes like New Year's resolutions. I made a couple this year about 8 days after the new year started, just because everyone else was doing it, and I was like, I could think of some things to work on. There are pros and cons to like improvement and growth, but also like, don't set yourself like unattainable goals. But I made a couple anyway. And so, as we always do with the Goodreads challenge, the things that I want to sort of work on in 2017. One, I want to finish this Flavia DeLuce book, which I've been hanging on to for a number of months now. I don't really find it as interesting as the last few. It's in a different setting. It's just different altogether than the others. And so that's been difficult, but I need to finish that before this month. Before the end of this month, I want that book done with. 2, if you watched my last video, I bought a bunch of books here in the UK, and I just keep looking at them and thinking, how am I going to get those home? How am I going to get those home without shipping them? So what I want to do is to finish all of the books that I've purchased here in the UK for free reading outside of school. I want to make sure that by the time, should I choose to go back to the States, that those are done so that I can like give them away or sell them or whatever, but I don't feel compelled to read them at that point because I will have already read them, because I bought them, and I'll have dealt with all of the feelings that I feel about owning things with them. 3, I want to read more journal articles. If you're familiar with the U.S. university system, you probably know about a database called JSTOR, and we have limited access to it over here because it's a U.S. database publication service. However, they send me an update pretty much weekly from their editors, which is just stuff from around the database that they have been reading and they find interesting. And I always sort of roll my eyes because I'm a little mad at JSTOR most of the time when I'm doing my research, but they always send a really good weekly digest of like 6 or 7 articles that I definitely need to be taking the time to read because they're of a wide variety of topics and they're always really interesting. I read one about orphans and orphans in novels and media recently that was super good. So gonna try and do a little bit more of that. And I know that is not like book related, but I figured it was worth mentioning here since it's definitely a type of reading that I intend to engage in a lot more than I have been in the past couple of years. 4, sort of on the tails of that, I have a colleague here with me in my program who is doing a lot of research for her dissertation on diversity in the arts, and all of the stuff that she has been able to find has been really interesting and really enlightening to look at from a perspective that's not a U.S. perspective. and I want to be doing a little more reading about diversity in the arts. I'm also reading Homegoing right now. You've probably heard about that floating around here in BookTube, and it's bringing up a lot of different points about what people in their societies believe is right, and I find that all very interesting from a very diverse perspective, and I would like to look into that a little bit more. So I'm going to try not only to read more academic journal articles, but also more about diversity in the arts as well. That's what I'm thinking for the year ahead. If you have any specific goals that are related or even like totally different, whatever your goals are, if you've made some reading or otherwise, if you want to put them in the comments, that'd be cool. We can chat about them. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you're having lovely weeks and lovely lives. Everything you want to know about us is in the bar below, the Wunderbar, and we'll see you very soon. It's like dusty.